So you did mention that. So like when you first introduced Sekhem back into the modern world, okay?
Yes.
So that was like 40 plus years ago.
Yeah. And that was, I had the experience in 1980 in the pyramids. I began teaching in 1984.
Okay.
So my official first class teaching Sekhem, using the word Sekhem, was in 1984.
Got it. So then, is it that along the years, the energy also kind of is different than the first time you took it or you taught it? Because you mentioned there were probably teachers who took it long ago, but then never kind of came back and upgraded. So that's why, I don't know much about Reiki to talk too much about it, but it's like the symbols are fixed. Like no matter if you learn it now and you learn it like 40 years later, you're still using those symbols, right? So that's what I also kind of want to understand too.
Well, basically, when I taught, I was using more visualizations, okay? And then you would get a connection, what you would feel, your connection to the energy.
Right.
Okay. But one of the things I've learned, the energy doesn't change. It's always been consistent. It's always been the same.
Okay.
What changes is your perception.
Of the energy?
Of the energy.
Okay.
And your perception and your energy of yourself and what you're capable of perceiving and getting. That's what changes.
Right. Got it. Okay.
So, when people have a certain belief and it's based on, say, like a Reiki template, then that's what they get.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you start expanding your awareness, expanding your consciousness, then you can have another level. But what I have found is not to put those limitations on it. Because as soon as you start to label it, as soon as you say, oh, it's masculine, you've limited it. As soon as you say it's feminine, you've put a limitation on it.
Yes.
As soon as you say, oh, it's a green vibration, you've put a limitation on it. So I've really learned to, in terms of how I define it, not to define it for somebody else,
right,
and not even to define it for myself. So the more you can get into kind of like this formlessness, then that will raise, you might say, raise the vibration.
Right. Okay.
And help with the other person's experience.
Yes. So now, the Sekhem that Patrick teaches, and I'm also one of Patrick's teacher as well. Okay, like student and then teacher teaches. And so we're teaching actually All-Love Sekhem. Now, where did the word all love comes in, and why did you add all love into it?
Well, first, the word all love comes from the word Allah, which was the original mantra that an Egyptian Sufi gave to me.
Okay.
And so the instructions were to always do the mantra, Allah, and I was just doing Allah, Allah, and then it changed to all love.
Okay.
And this was actually before I connected to the word Sekhem. But it was actually simultaneously at the time of the Great Pyramid. So I had the pyramid experience, and then the following day I connected to the Sufis, who I feel carry a very Egyptian energy and connection.
Right.
And then eventually I went to Sudan to meet the main Sufi, and he's the one that gave me this all-la, or all-love mantra. Now, as I began to work with that, it might say helped me make the connection. But I never used that in terms of the name of the energy.
Okay.
I always used Sekhem, and all love was, you might say, the mantra that I used. But what was happening is, because a lot of other people were teaching Sekhem,
yes,
there was a lot of confusion for people. So then I said, in order to make mine uniquely connected to me, then I added the All-Love.
Got it.
So that people would know, yes, if you're doing All-Love Sekhem, then you're working with Patrick, who basically, I'm the founder.
Right.
And you know what you're getting. Because when people are taking courses, I find most of the time they don't do a lot of research.
Yes,
You know, it's kind of like they'll read something and they'll think, oh yes, it's on the internet, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible. People will spend a lot of money on a course and it's not
exactly what it is.
It's not what it is, yes.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot. And so people need to do a little bit of research. Now, what I found is still people use the name All-Love Sekhem who haven't taken a class from me.
Honestly. Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, so it's like here you are, you're dealing with what I would call very spiritual people. You know, people on a spiritual path, and there's still kind of this deception.
Right.
They'll actually take my logo.
Even your logo?
Yes.
Wow.
And they'll try to convince people that they're teaching the All-Love Sekhem. And they've never taken a class from me.
Got it. Okay. So when people actually do search on the internet, really, you just do a bit more research on the background.
Do a little research. And hey, you can contact me and say, do you know this person?
True.
You know?
Patrick's here.
Yeah, it's so simple. You know?
You know what? Yeah. It's so much rumor that like even like we're in Hong Kong right now. And I've heard from different students or classmates or even their friends that are kind of learning different spiritual work.
Yes.
They're like, Patrick? I thought he's dead. I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also some are like, people said that he's just too lazy. He's not teaching anymore. And we're like, come on, we invite Patrick back every year, you know? We've heard that quite a lot.
I've heard rumors that I'm in the Himalayas, that I don't teach anymore. There's like all kinds of, you know, people don't do any research. It's a little bit like what happened with Reiki.
Right.
You know, when Takata started teaching, she told everybody that she's the only teacher remaining. And yet she knew full well that Hayashi's wife was teaching, you know, and there were other people still teaching Reiki in Japan. She knew that.
Right.
And so this is what's happening, is that people will make up all kinds of stories.
All these deceptions.
Yeah, and so people need to be aware of what's going on. I know there was one lady, I won't mention her name, she started to say, oh, you know, I'm the one that introduced Sekhem. But I know, I have her letter. She wrote to me thanking me for introducing Sekhem. I know her teacher very well. She studied from, Phoenix Summerfield.
Right.
And so people really need to do a little bit of research.
That is so true.
You know? And I'm not saying that these other types of Sekhem are not valid. Because people do have good experiences with them.
They do, yes.
You know, this is one of the things I found. If you really believe in something, truly, it's going to work for you.
Right.
This is the key.
Yes.
You know, and what I found is that say when you're working with, really working with any energy, and you decide to give it a form, that energy will manifest in that form. So this is one of the reasons why people would have visions of Sekhmet, you know?
Because they believe.
Because they have this belief that, oh my goodness, Sekhmet is connected to this energy, they meditate on it, Sekhmet shows up actually in their consciousness. You know? It's like in a dream, you know? Well, you can dream anything. You know, if you believe in it, Sekhmet will show up, do something, or Isis will show up, and then you go, it's absolutely true, it's connected because I saw Sekhmet in a vision, you know. Some people teach that Sekhem comes from the star Sirius, you know. Or, and then they'll say, oh, well, in fact, I even saw it on the internet. Some guy was saying, oh, well, Patrick Zeigler comes from the Pleiades. And this other Sekhem comes from Sirius. And I'm like, come on. It's connected to everybody. You don't even need to take a Sekhem class because we're all connected to Source.
Exactly, that is true.
And Sekhem is just another name for Source.
Got it.
So it doesn't come, Source doesn't come from Sirius,
Source is Source.
Source is Source, yeah. Come on, don't limit it. Don't put these limitations.
Yes.
And a lot of it's just marketing, Oh, people want this kind of extraterrestrial thing like,
to make it more interesting.
Make it more interesting. It's just something else to think about.
True. Got it. Okay. So now, can you actually tell us more how does Sekhem or All-Love Sekhem works? Like when we take a workshop or when we do sessions, like how does this energy come in and work with us?
So basically, yes, you have the energy, which is just universal energy.
Okay.
And then you have methods, actual things that you can do, how to work with it. So what I found is that if you actually work with person's energy blockages and open that up, they can have a stronger connection to their inner source.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we might have how are you blocking your energy? So we get you to open up that energy, open up that blockage, and then you'll feel like a wave of energy come in.
Right.
And feel that stronger connection. It's that simple.
So first, we actually probably need to explain a little bit more where these blockages came in. So it can be emotional, it can be things that happened in the past, but you probably might not even be aware that it created a blockage. Yeah. So there's actually a lot of blockages that can happen through different events in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be past events, it can even be future events. A lot of times people are afraid of things that are going to happen in the future. And that was interesting because it took me a while to kind of figure out, that not all people have energies that are from the past. It's actually sometimes a future.
Right. Right. Wow, that's kind of mind-blowing about that.
Yeah. So we work on all it. And really what it is, any blockage that you have is because you're not in the present moment.
Okay.
So we really try, it's not such a good word, but
we do our best.
Yeah. But hey, we're working with English. So what we want to do is stay more in the present moment, not live in the past and not live in the future. This is one of the keys.
Right.
Really, really one of the keys. And if you can do that, then you can be connecting to, might say, this eternal energy, because anything that's eternal doesn't exist in the past or the future.
Right. Okay.
It's a timelessness.
Okay. So then, because you did mention like universal energy or eternal energy, right?
Yes.
And this is also something that Reiki also talks about. That's what they channel, right?
Yeah.
So how is the Sekhem energy actually really different than Reiki energy? Because I know Reiki's more well known because of the marketing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people probably have learned Reiki.
Yeah.
So then they might ask, then why do I need to learn Sekhem, or how is it different than Reiki? And I get these questions a lot of times.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you really, people need to do their research and just use common sense.
Okay.
So, just from the history that we know of Reiki, how did it start?
From Usui in Japan?
Yes, Mikao Usui. Basically, the story is that he went to the mountain and did a 21-day meditation on the mountain.
Right.
And through that 21-day meditation, he had an experience which led him to the Reiki. Okay. So, what happened in those 21 days?
No one knows, maybe?
Well, I mean, they do talk about things.
Okay.
One group says that he received these symbols and things like that. But just in my experiences, that I feel that he was given symbols to meditate on.
Okay.
So he was trained. He had particular meditation practices that he learned before he went to do the 21-day meditation.
Okay, right.
And then there's even a story that he was so frustrated in his life that he went to the mountain to actually die. You know?
Yes.
But we know that he went and meditated.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
We know for certain that he was meditating.
Yeah, he was not thinking about dying.
Okay. So the question is, what is the source? How did you discover, how was Reiki discovered?
Yeah.
Well, it was discovered through meditation. And the reality is that it's something that existed before Mikao Usui. You know, you meditate, you connect with your inner source, and different things will start to manifest.
Right.
What happened for Mikao Usui is that the healing began to manifest. But in the beginning, this wasn't his focus. His focus has always been self-realization. Knowing, getting to know the true self.
Right.
But again, when you get into marketing, that is not as marketable as healing.
That is so true nowadays. Yeah.
I mean, you know, people get attracted to spirituality usually because they have a problem and they want to heal it.
Yes.
Okay. So, but they want the results for the healing, not to actually have the spiritual experience.
Okay.
Now that's changing. Now that people are getting the consciousness,
For the self-realization
that-
and the self-work.
the self-work then can bring about healing. It's a side effect.
Right.
Okay.
A positive side effect.
Yeah, a positive side effect. So this is something that people really need to get. Now, then we look at how Reiki is taught. Now, when you go to a Reiki class, are you taught to meditate?
Not really.
No, the focus is not meditation. And the reason for this is that Takata didn't like the meditation.
The 21 days meditation.
No, it was kind of like, how can I market that? You know,
Okay.
can I, are people open to do a 21-day meditation? No.
Yeah.
No, let's just do the empowerment that's given. And the Reiki empowerment is a very ancient technique, that's been passed down from meditation masters to meditation masters.
Yes.
So when you reach a certain level of awakening, you have the ability to transfer energy to someone else.
Got it.
Now, in India, they call this a diksha or shaktipat, okay, or empowerment of some kind. It's like different words for it.
Yeah.
And this has been passed down all the way through Buddhism, through different religions, and so when you've learned now to do an empowerment. So this has been the main focus, is the empowerment. And then in order to do the empowerment, you learn a certain ritual. In Reiki in particular, it has the symbols involved.
Right.
And this is how the empowerment is passed down from person to person.
Okay. Got it.
But the real source is the meditation.
The real source to Reiki.
To do a practice of meditation every day. And there's a lot of very good teachers, Reiki teachers out there now that have realized this. Like if you go and study with Frank Arjava, Peter, who's written many books, he's going to teach you how to meditate.
Right.
You know?
This is like the basic.
The basics, like, okay, I'm going to teach you Reiki, but I'm also going to teach you how to meditate. Yeah. Franz Stein, I believe it. He's written some books too, very good author. He's going to Japan now. I watch him on Facebook. He goes there to learn how to meditate.
Wow.
You know, they have a 10-day process, they have a 21-day process, they have a 40-day, they have a 90-day.
90 days.
90-day
wow.
meditation,
Okay.
you know? I mean, it just goes on, you know? And the basis of this self-realization is really to do the inner work.
Got it. Okay. So one more question. It's like with Reiki and Sekhem, right? So Reiki, people are very used to things that they can visualize, such as those symbols.
Yes.
Now, Sekhem that Patrick and we teach, like there's actually no symbols, right? So one question I always get asked again is like, then how do I use the Sekhem energy, the All-Love Sekhem energy?
Well, what we've done is we've kind of blended some things to help people. So I can't say we don't ever use symbols. I like to use visualizations more.
Right.
You know, like okay, come into your heart, feel your heart, visualize and feel. So it gives it another dimension. You know, visualize, like see the light. Okay, like for instance, the main Reiki symbol, Daikomyo. What is that? It's the great shining light. So you're instead of writing it out, great shining light.
You use a symbol.
Visualize it.
And visualize it. Okay.
Visualize it, yes. So,
Right.
so it's visualizing, but not just visualize it, but feel it. So connect to the energy behind it, connect to the love behind it, connect to the peace behind it.
Okay. And another thing is, so a lot of people who maybe they haven't really done their research, and then they have more understanding in the Reiki system.
Yeah.
And then I also get asked, so do I get an initiation in the class? You know how Reiki, they give you an attunement every time, right?
Again, this is like a marketing, you know, okay. And again, if you truly believe in something, you can create. So this is a big part of it. And I would say that with Reiki, it's called an attunement.
Right.
You know, I like to differentiate between the two. Now, sometimes when you get this attunement, which again is kind of has in India you would call it Shaktipat or a Diksha, some people might have a big experience with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Some people don't. You know,
Everyone's
it's
different.
like everybody's different. Now, some people will say, well, you get it whether you have the experience or not. And partially that is true.
Okay.
You know, because some people, they might not have that experience, yet they can still connect with the energy. But I do feel that it's important to have that consciousness of the initiation.
Right.
To know that there's something beyond your physical body. And that's what we would call more of the initiation. You connect to the vibration, you connect to the light, you might have even experience of the universe. This I feel is important.
Okay.
To really know what exists beyond your physical body.
So you mentioned that when the Sekhem energy, when we work with it, so you might experience like the vibration, connection with the universe. What else would be experiencing during a workshop or session?
Well, really feeling love in a deep, unconditional way.
Right.
Is very, very important. Experiencing a deep peace. Like when you talk about peace, a lot of people don't understand what that is.
Yes.
You know, I mean, really experience a deep consciousness of peace.
I mean, peace, and also even with love. Like some people, they also say, oh, I know what love is, but I don't really feel love.
Yeah. Well, normally when you talk about love, and this is a problem with our language, is you think about conditional love. You talk about love that has some sort of form connection to it. Like, I love pizza, I love my wife, I love my child, I love God, you know. That word can be used in association to so many different things. It's probably one of the most well-known English words, but it's very broad.
Yes.
Now, if you go into the Sanskrit language, they'll have a different word for loving pizza. They'll have a different word for loving your wife. They'll have a different word for loving God.
Okay.
So it's very specific. Also, in the Sanskrit language, which is ancient, but it's still carried over through Hindi and
Yes.
Nepalese. There's levels of consciousness. They have the term samadhi. They have the term nirvana.
Right.
They have the term moksha, or there's like all different kinds of words to relate to this experience, which these words do not exist in the English language.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they exist in Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever.
They try to find a word that kind of like
Yeah, like we have a word enlightenment.
Yes.
But then enlightenment's a very general term too.
Yes, it is.
So like,
It
I
is.
was enlightened about this, I was enlightened, it isn't specific in terms of your consciousness.
Got it. Okay. So to wrap it up, is there anything you'd like to tell our watchers here about Sekhem, just to wrap everything up so that they have like a better idea and maybe even an interest to try out the workshop and also, sessions, because it's very different. I can only say it's very, very different.
Yeah, no, things are always changing for us. What I was teaching 40 years ago is completely different what I'm teaching nowadays. Even 2 or 3 years ago was very, very different.
Right.
We're really getting now into really helping people with more discovering your true self, your self-realization, whatever you want to call it, really having the samadhi experience, and then being able to also work with the energy, helping others with this process. So it's more of a holistic approach.
Okay, got it. So if any one of you is interested in understanding a bit more about All-Love Sekhem, or even trying out workshop or even a private session as well, please, you can contact Patrick, contact me, depending where you are. And us All-Love Sekhem teachers, we'd be happy to bring you in and just have you experience this Sekhem energy.
Yeah, and people need to realize this is something, it's very, very teachable.
Yes.
We don't keep any big secrets.
Oh, no secrets at all.
Well, there is one, but we're not going to talk about that. That's secret. But it's very, very teachable. You have the experience. We've learned how to kind of give it a structure to step you down into certain experiences. And it's very teachable.
Yes.
And then we're also doing the 10-day meditations, 21-day meditations, and 40-day meditations, so that people can actually get the experience themselves.
Yeah. So this is actually what we will record next in our next video. It's more about the meditation and why Patrick actually needs to introduce these meditations side by side. Not exactly side by side, but it's like a very good experience for you to have in life as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Patrick, for today's recording. Thank you. And we will see you guys again soon. Thank you very much.
All love.
All love. Bye-bye.